The Spanish flu pandemic was deadliest in history. It spread with astonishing speed. In just 18 months, 500 million people, roughly one third of the planet population, was infected and killed 20 to 50 million people. Spanish flu, or forgotten pandemic, so named because its spread was overshadowed by the World War I. Influenza or flu is a virus which attacks respiratory system. It's highly contagious when an infected person coughs, sneezes or talks. Respiratory droplets are generated and transmitted in the air and then can be inhaled by anyone nearby. A person touches something with the virus on it and then touches his mouth, eye or nose can also become infected. A Spanish newspaper reported that the agent responsible for this infection was Pfeiffer's bacillus. The report was timely but wrong. Flu is caused by the virus. The 1918-1919 pandemic was caused by influenza A virus known as H1N1. The first recorded case were in United States of America in the final year of World War I at Camp Funston, Fort Riley, Kansas. Camp Funston was a US Army training camp located on Fort Riley, Kansas. The camp was named after Brigadier General Frederick Funston. It was one of the 16 such camps established at the outbreak of World War I. It was here in March 1918 that a feverish soldier was reported to infirmary. Within a few hours, more than 100 other soldiers were down with similar symptoms and many more were infected in following weeks. At the time of troop mobilization, the virus was brought to Europe in April that year. The Spanish flu killed its victims swiftly. People were reported dying the same day of showing symptoms. The symptoms were gruesome fever and shortness of breath, which led to lack of oxygen. Hemorrhages filled the lungs with blood and caused vomiting and nosebleeds. Unlike other strains of influenza, Spanish flu mercilessly attacked all age groups, not only very young and very old, but also adult between age 20 to 40. The most contributing factor for the spread of the virus was the massive and rapid movement of troops around the world due to World War I. The war also obscured the unusually high mortality rate of the new virus. At the early stage, the deaths were attributed to pneumonia. Due to strict wartime censorship, Europe and North America press were unable to report outbreaks. But Spain was the neutral country in war and was able to cover the outbreak from the start and hence derived its nickname. The wave that had first appeared in Kansas abated in a few weeks. The second wave hit in September 1918. It was the most lethal phase. Once again, it was the crowded military encampment where the second wave gained a hold. The mutated strain of the Spanish flu had the power to kill perfectly healthy humans within 24 hours of showing the symptoms. The infection skyrocketed from September through November 1918. In January 1919 came the third wave. By then the force had diminished and the mortality rate fell. It hit Australia in the third wave, killing thousands nevertheless. The pandemic left no part of the world untouched. In Great Britain, 228,000 people died. The United States lost as many as 675,000 people, and Japan some 400,000. In India alone, fatality were between 12 and 17 million. The public health measures were put in place. It gave a boost to setting up of social healthcare systems. There was a jump in the life expectancy after the Spanish flu. People who were ill and had lower immunity died, while the healthier ones lived. The Spanish flu prompted uprising everywhere. It gave flames to the resentment against inequality of wealth. Since the flu struck mercilessly on people living in crowded conditions and lower access to healthcare, it also fueled the Indian independence movement, then a British colony. Those children who survived the flu in the wombs lived with reduced ability and congenital difficulties. They were also less likely to graduate or earn wage and were more likely to go to prison. After the third wave, the infection diminished. Whether it ceased to exist or mutated to a strain living more harmoniously with humans is still a mystery. Scientists are making an effort to reconstruct the virus by extracting the bodies buried in permafrost in Alaska who have died due to Spanish flu. This will enable us to understand the flu better. Hope you found the video interesting. Please do like, share and subscribe the channel.